first things first. Is there someone that we are absolutely banging the table for, saying we have to have this guy on the team?
Okay, clearly for me, Taylor Davila
Yes.
in the central midfield has to be included. I voted for him for MVP. I suspect you might have as well.
I did.
And I also do want to answer the criticism of these all-league teams. It's a regular season award. Louisville City lost one game in the regular season. Like, I don't know. Put two and two together, people. That was the best team maybe in the history of the USL regular season ever. And Davila was at the core of everything that team did right. Some of the counting stats were down year over year, but for me, the performance overall was better in terms of the positioning, the way he set the table as a passer. He's an unbelievable player. He should get a move to MLS. It's criminal that he hasn't already. But yeah, I mean, he's the best player in the entire USL ecosystem in 2025.
He was my MVP vote. Yeah, so I completely agree. He is on my, people can't see this, but I have a lot of notes of players and stuff. He was my first name written down. So yes, Taylor Davila, absolutely. Probably not going to be our DM. He's probably going to be somewhere in central midfield, but right now he's just going to be at the base of the midfield.
We're married to the 4-3-3. Is that the?
No. We can have three center backs. I mean, if you remember last year, our final was a 4-4-2 diamond because we didn't feel like there was any wide midfielders who deserved it. So,
because I'd love a 3-4-3, but that's just me. No.
Like Carson is mentally, yeah.
I think. Can we start maybe and maybe this is my brain, but like, should we just start at keeper and just argue our way forward?
Sure. Let's do it.
Okay. Because I've got no argument with Davila. Like, I don't know if anyone else does, but yeah, I mean, you're not going to get me.
He's the least contestable guy, period.
Yeah. Bottom line.
I have 4 names that I have listed.
I think there's only one, and this is going to sound, people are going to be like, oh, it's recency bias or whatever. It's Eric Dick. But yeah, 15 clean sheets. Like, the man was like potentially unbeatable on a team that wasn't even good until the second half of the season. So yeah, for me it's Dick.
How do you weigh the playoffs as big? Because I think Kaler is going to come in with maybe the guy I'm leaning towards.
I have 4 names, 2 League 1, 2 Championship. And I'm really leaning Vidiello or Vegas.
Okay. I had Vidiello. The advanced stats there are remarkable. As 2025 is a body of work, he had a better overall season than Eric Dick. I think there is an argument to be made in League One for Carlos Marancio sticking in.
Marancio was one of my League One. The other one was Lewis, but Marancio and Vidiello were my 2 that I wanted.
Does Sean Lewis not get into the conversation?
Yes and no. Sean Lewis is...
Or are we just saying he had the best defense in League One in front of him?
We'll get to the reason I like One Knox when we get to the center backs.
No, that's fair. I'm just being provocative. Don't mind me.
It gets the people going.
Yeah.
So what are we? My vote is going to go. I'm going to have a championship in a League One. I'm going to go Vidiello or Marancio.
Okay. I think it's Marancio because you think about that Spokane run, and he was great all season, but then you think about Spokane in the playoffs, it's him in those penalty shootouts that's making the difference for them. So you get kind of the Eric Dick argument. You get some of the Vidiello of that whole body of work, but then you're also representing League One from somebody who was really terrific in his own right. So Marancio would be my pick here.
I'm okay with him.
Okay. I can back Marancio then.
Okay. I will go ahead and write that down. This is where I'm going to have to just accept that I'm going to spell somebody's name wrong.
You got it. It's small.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
it's fine.
illiterate.
Nobody can read it. It's fine. All right. So let's go to center backs. And I have a lot of names, but the USL League One Defender of the Year was rightfully Jordan Skelton. He's an easy pick in there for me.
What are we thinking about Sean Suber? Again, I know
I would have voted for him for Defender of the Year.
Distribution and defending, like elite.
Suber was in my list.
Okay, so I like both of them. I will say, and I don't know if this is just me and my hipster nature saying, actually, Sievert Hoagley was better than Skelton. I do just want to shout out Sievert Hoagley as somebody who was really terrific throughout the year. I am happy to include Jordan Skelton. The name I want to throw two names in there, I think.
I think Breck Evans is getting lost in the shuffle in all of this.
Hey, Jake Dengler. Both of those Maple guys.
Jake Dengler's on my list.
Okay.
Jake Dengler's on my list.
I want to throw out the Josh Jones argument, and I'm not going to say we throw him in because he only played half the season as a starter. If you prorate that over 30 games, he's the best defender in the league by a mile for me. You add in the long throws, and there's kind of not an area you can nitpick. So in the same mold of right-sided center back, David Garcia from Spokane, another one I really thought had a terrific year. Maybe don't want to double on Spokane given what we did in goal, but somebody who deserves a shout out there. So I'm happy with Skelton and happy with Suber. The argument then becomes, are we actually doing three center backs?
I have another name.
It is a league that someone put it in the chat.
John Fuller in the chat with intelligent comment. This is a back three league these days.
Everybody plays with a back three. So
yeah, I have another name.
Yeah.
To throw out there. Owusu from Union Omaha.
By the way, I think Kyle Adams actually won Defender of the Year, and we just didn't mention that.
Did he? Yeah. No, he did. He did. You're right. He wasn't. Yeah.
I'm going to say, listen, I'm going to say a name, and this is partially to buy myself some credit and to, again, be provocative. What do we think about the name Talon Maples?
He's on my list. He's here for me.
There were
far be it from me to promote a New Mexico United player, but statistic. I mean, lots of goals, solid. I don't want to say anything too intense about Kalen Ryden, and I wish him the best in retirement. And I think maybe Maples carried some water for Ryden over the season.
But if you think about what did New Mexico do well, in no sense was it the defending. And I want to.
That's true. That's also true.
I mean, I would go up the table in the West. Why not a Lamar Batista? Why not an AB Sissoko? If we're choosing a center back from that part of the world, as Phil is deeply out of focus.
What's happening? I mentioned a New Mexico United player, and they're canceling me.
So I will say AB Sissoko was my vote for Defender of the Year. When I put in my vote, he was mine. And he kind of got displaced by Ian. But at that point, when I placed my vote, I didn't know if Ian was like a temporary thing or if he was going to take his place.
I think Sissoko was just hurt at that point, which...
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is why my vote went to AB Sissoko. He was my Defender of the Year personally.
Do we have room for Batista in your heart?
I mean, he was our center back pairing in the first half. I'm okay with that.
So is a back three Batista, Skelton, Suber? Is that agreeable?
That's what I would back that.
Yeah, I think Batista belongs in there.
Okay. We're doing things. We're getting there.
Moves. I would argue that center back is probably comfortably the strongest position group in the league this year. So many guys brilliant in the 2025 season.
The only one that I wrote down more names for than center back was fullback, and it's because I can't decide if I want a defending fullback or an attacking fullback. I don't know what I want in my life.
With the way that managers run in USL, you can get pretty liberal about what you call a fullback or a wingback or whatever. Yeah. Like there are a lot of wingers that are playing wingback.
Yeah. So let's go to fullback / wingback if we're going to have those. If we just want to skip over those, we can. I have last time it was oh my gosh, it was Tingy and it was Waldeck. McFadden was in there, Gurr was in there, Quinn was in there. I have a fun name that I want to throw out there, and it is Sebastian Anderson from Hartford.
He's a good honorable mention. Yeah.
I'm going to offset my New Mexico thing by saying Gabby Torres. Just throwing that.
Is he a fullback or is he like a weird center mid who just kind of goes wide occasionally?
Listen, I will answer that question the second that Wilmer Cabrera can answer that question.
He's got plenty of time to figure it out at this point, I guess.
Yeah. No, he played on the left side. Again, I'm being as liberal as anybody else with the definition of wingback, but no, I just was throwing in there.
If we're talking about which left-sided fullback this season was the most impactful, Charlie Ostrom got 10 assists for Union Omaha. To me, he was as important as any player towards that late season run that really had them looking great at the end of the year. He feels like the guy that locked down that left side more than anyone else in the USL for me.
I almost Ryan, I saw you on mute, so you go first.
Go ahead.
I almost want to skip past fullback so we can figure out if we want to do like wingers or midfield, like wide midfielders or what.
We're doing two fullbacks.
We're doing two fullbacks.
Okay. Positional purist in me is like we're doing 2
5-2-3 maybe.
Okay.
So, 4-4. It would be a 3-4-3.
Fullbacks, wingbacks. It's split.
It's a 3-4-3.
You know, 3-4-3. Yeah.
So I'm going to.
Both teams played it in the final, so we are fully within our rights to make the team of the year. 3-4-3.
Right.
I'm going to throw out 2 names. I'm going to throw out Gurr, and I am going to throw out Messer.
Okay.
Well, Gurr is on the right, so
Gurr would be on the right.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
So we haven't had
names,
that.
Like those are my 2 fullbacks.
Yeah. We haven't had that argument yet.
So let's focus Messer versus. I threw out Ostrom. Somebody had mentioned.
I think I backed the Ostrom. I backed the Ostrom shout. 10 assists is just that. I mean, it's Arthur Rogers levels production, like out of the League One, so it's hard to ignore.
I mean, he led the league in assists, so I would take Ostrom.
All right, Ostrom.
And even beyond that, like the combination play with Mark Bronick, who's a young player, and the ability to kind of hold down that side, you can't say enough about what he did for that Omaha team. I think right wing back is almost harder because you've got Gurr, but Aiden McFadden was remarkable all season long.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned someone like a Sebastian Anderson who was great. There are options there. Connor Evans played half the season as a right back, but then kind of moved to center mid. What do you do with that? I don't know.
Lucky Apara was out there. He played great
Sure.
Out on the right wing.
Nigro, basically the only good player on Vegas.
Yeah.
I don't think we can reward that team.
6 assists in that team is nothing short of a miracle.
This is true.
Who's kicking the ball in the net?
Like initiator, and he's like a fullback. But you don't want that, but you kind of love to see it at the same time.
Yeah. Very solid player. I'd love to see him on a different team.
We also mentioned Tingy last or during the halfway mark, but I think he got surpassed by. Yeah, I think he got surpassed.
He fell off.
So
I'm happy to do Gurr. Like
Gurr McFadden, I'm happy with.
Are we underrepresenting Louisville? Because spoiler alert, I don't have anybody upfield that I'm going to include for that team.
I mean, McFadden was close for me.
We tossed him Davila. That's all that's all they're getting. Not getting anything else.
To be fair,
win a playoff
5
game.
Teams in the first team.
I got to be honest, though. I'm kind of with you, John. McFadden was the last Louisville City player I wrote down.
I mean, I would say I don't feel strongly enough about Gurr to keep McFadden out of the team, if that makes sense.
Like I'm on the record. There probably isn't a bigger fan of what Jack Gurr does every single season. To me, McFadden was a cut above everybody on the right side. Like nothing against Jack Gurr, who was great, but McFadden was special.
Gurr, it's more of like a lifetime achievement award versus anything that he did like specifically this season.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go to our other part of our midfield pairing. Now we could have a 5-3-2 possibly. It is certainly a possibility. I want to throw out just one DM option besides Malloy, who did make my list. Same thing with Connor Evans. That was a conversation for me. I thought JP Sears was fantastic.
Not all league for me.
Okay.
And dare I say he got outplayed by Jean-Eric Morceau when they brought Morceau in with a couple games to go. But seeing Skeers do what he's doing close to home rocks, and I'm happy that they gave him a nice long extension.
So do we have a DM we want to throw in?
I had Max Schneider from Omaha as well. I think we've probably filled the Omaha spot with Ostrom, but Schneider was probably the best player at that position this side of Connor Evans.
So Schneider was in there as a CM for me. I don't think of him as a defensive midfielder, but I guess that is how Omaha uses him. But he was written down for me as central midfield. Same for Micheletto, Maldonado, and Avievu.
I mean, Schneider was top 10 in USL 1 in chances created.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're going to go with a center mid pairing, I might fight for Maldonado a little bit. When he was on the pitch, there was not many people better.
Got benched for a stretch towards the end of the season.
Was he not?
And I think that
hurt.
A little hurt, but a little like John Bradford was experimenting and changing shapes and everything. I'm not against it because I think the reason North Carolina got into the playoffs was what Mikey Maldonado did for the first 4 months of the year, and we can't forget that. I don't know. It's a tough situation for that club generally.
I also, I do think, and I think Frank is in the chat with it. Like Avievu is hard to define, but I think he belongs in this team.
Okay, so
somewhere.
if you I'm gonna rationalize the formation here. Davila, in terms of how Louisville played, he would sit deep and they basically let Kev Lambert just like push up and be a weird target guy further ahead. So if we've got him sitting deeper and we've got Avievu in the midfield, it's better than what the USL put out for their first and second teams. Like at least this is something approaching a formation, so we can rest our hats on that.
Okay, but if he's going to be our essentially attacking mid, Avievu, he's going to be our 10. That's leaving out a Hill. That's leaving out a Wada. That's leaving out a MD Meyer. That's leaving out a Florian Velo.
Well, we still have 3 attackers, of which we can be very nebulous about.
Yeah, so Avievu is just like a very offensive-minded center mid, we're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, and is that dishonest?
That's fine with me.
Yes, but who cares?
And then I did just want to shout Chris Haggart too, like for the season he had. I'm not saying that he necessarily gets in here ahead of all of those names. And I just like the season he had, the production, and Orange County, like obviously it being a regular season award, them getting their stuff together enough to be compelling in the playoffs. Like Hegert was at the center of a lot of that. So I do just want to shout out that he is a bit of a spine that they are now like sort of coalescing around.
We should circle back and say Ryan Dogman for left back as well was probably on the table. Just that whole axis of Hegert and Dogman was the engine for Orange County all year long. Those two were brilliant.
Okay, so now let's get to our attacking. What we're assuming is going to be a 3, but could be a 2, and we get kind of liberal on what the midfield option is. He got absolutely hosed in the end.
Yep.
Abukora is still a top player for me.
Oh, I thought you were going to say a different name.
Who did y'all have? Who did y'all have here?
If we're talking left side, it should have been USL League One All-Leaguer. Ollie Wright was my guy. And I will say,
that's
I straight up voted for Robbie Mertz, and he played the left for most of the year. Like, in terms of my actual ballot, I submitted to the league. I had Mertz. So I think all 3 of those guys are in the conversation.
Yeah. No, I agree with the Abukora shout. In terms of the lads protocol, he was the one most making it not true, if that makes sense. Where it was like Loudon always does this shit and it's Abukora hitting bangers. But Robbie Mertz, like towards the top of the charts and chances created, towards like he's got a lot of production. So tough to argue with that. And Ollie Wright, in terms of like clutch gene and Portland being a playoff team as high as they ended up being, like that was down a lot to Ollie Wright. Like as much as Titus Washington being like clinical for them, like it all stemmed from Ollie Wright's production.
And we saw that on display when we were up there.
Yeah.
Not that this is the, Jägermeister best 11, but if it were...
I will say, if we want to include Robbie Mertz, if you look at his expected numbers versus actual numbers, there were not many players who underperformed their expected numbers because there was a long time where, hey, check the playoffs, where Pittsburgh just refused to score goals no matter what Robbie Mertz did. Like, he just kept putting balls on platters, and unfortunately, Augie just was not finishing the ball, same with Jacobson. So, yes, his actual production looks bad when you look at total numbers, but if you look at what he was actually doing with the ball and the positions he was putting Pittsburgh in, it's not his fault that he can't cross and score at the same time.
Okay, so if
it's tough, it's really tough.
Well, thinking more broadly about like how are we setting this team up? 2 wide forwards and like a classic number 9, is that the mold we're going for? Because in that case, we can have it all. We can have Robbie Mertz and Ollie Wright.
But
I will
who's going to be on the right? Because
I
have someone that I think must be on the right. And it's Niall Reed-Steven.
Me too. Like, I was just going to make that same point.
Yeah, must be in there.
I agree.
Just in terms of like, just to like contextualize, because I think saying the numbers out loud, like it really, it's one of those things where over the course of a whole season, you can kind of like be like, yeah, he was really great. 13 goals and 7 assists. Out of like in that specific Tormenta team, which took such a long time to get going, production wise, like there basically wasn't a better player in League One.
And 13 goals, none of which were penalties, which means that he was the non-penalty Golden Boot winner in League One. As a guy who wasn't playing as their primary striker, was just a dynamo, an elite dribbler, terrific in transition. Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
Leaving out JD Torres is not criminal because, like, Ben Pierman also decided it wasn't criminal to leave out JD Torres down the stretch. So I just go off Ben Pierman. I will say, in terms of who was the most talented soccer player to kick a ball in the USL this year, JD Torres. He did more jaw-dropping things per 90 than anyone else. I keep saying body of work, but when you just have that stretch where you're not involved with the team and it extends into the playoffs, that feels slightly disqualifying, even though I just love watching the guy play.
He wasn't even on the 18 for the playoffs.
Yeah.
Technically extremely gifted, and might be the person who can kick the ball the hardest in the whole league. Like if it was just a straight up, how hard can you kick the ball challenge, Torres is in there.
We should get rid of penalties and make that the tiebreaker.
Just how hard can you kick the ball? Just a guy with a gun down there. Just
okay. If we're probably going to fight for a long time over the left wing. So if we're going to have a number 9, I'm going to throw out my names. I have 4 names that I just want to throw out there. Obregon, because lots of goals for a bad team. How did he score? It's crazy. Well, their thing was not scoring, it was defending. Enderlong, because he was just so good. Bonifilio just needs love because he almost won Golden Boot in Miami because, oh my God, how? And then Kalira is the other one for me.
I mean, Peter Wilson he scored a shitload of goals for a team that was bad. Like, I mean, they were obviously good down the stretch, and he was very good down the stretch. So it sort of went together. But
yes,
Golden Boot on
Peter
Oakland,
Wilson won Golden Boot. I get it. But if you were to ask me who's the better team and who has the better players around him, Peter Wilson in Oakland or Bonifilio in Miami, who gave him the ball?
Sebastian Blanco. When he was alive.
Shoot, wait, what's the other guy? The other Argentine guy.
So you can't even think. The fact that you can't even think of another Miami player says a lot about the service there.
Yeah.
Quick,
no, you got me on that
player.
one.
You can't say Bill Hamid.
I can say Bill Hamid. I will say Bill Hamid.
The Tampa Bay Rowdies player?
So coming into this, the 3 names I had were Taylor Calhera, Carson Henderlong, and then I had MD Myers because I think he doesn't get enough love. Calhera, he's got the goals. He was in the Golden Boot mix all year long. And then it's the everything else he did for FC Tulsa. Among the leaders in pressing takeaways, was the league leader in dual attempts, and I believe aerial dual attempts. The guy put his body on the line. He was constant work rate. He gave Tulsa an identity from week 1, and it's what took them to the championship game. I think what he did was absolutely immense for FC Tulsa, so he feels like the fit. But you could say a lot of similar things for Carson Henderlong. He was technical in transition, good in hold-up play, an elite finisher in League One. A little bit less of that very visible style than Calhera, but I think Henderlong was crucial to getting Naples to where they got in a terrific expansion season. I'd be happy with either one.
I also just don't want to look at this graphic and not have MD Myers on it.
I don't know. Leaving out. Leaving out Calera feels bad. Yes. I don't know how else to really explain it. It doesn't feel good. Because
I mean, then all back Calera
where did MD Myers finish goals wise?
15.
15. Yeah.
And look at his assist because he was so good.
Yeah, he did. He did have a really. Oh man, I don't know.
I will say either.
Okay.
I'll say Calera or MD Myers.
Well, Ryan broke the tie with Calhera, so.
Okay, Calera. So this will be our second Tulsa player.
And if you look where we doubled up, which is going to be Tulsa and Louisville, that's reasonable. Like, those are 2 teams that deserved it.
Yeah.
They won their regular season conferences.
Enough said.
Okay. Left wing. This is I'm just going to let you guys just kind of
So
fight
what?
for your
Right,
guy.
Mertz or Abakora?
For all the nonsense that I've given Loudon this year, I've got to vote. I have to vote Abakora, because I have to right my wrongs. No pun intended, because that would be Ali Wright. But anyways,
we've talked a handful of times about guys who kind of faded down the stretch. I think Abakora maybe only got 1 goal after July, as Loudon lost the form and then crashes out early. That means something to me.
Lads,
am I insane for saying to get as close as possible to Championship League One parity, we should go Ollie Wright?
By the
way, which one of these people was a guest on the show this year? Ollie Wright?
Yeah.
That feels like a tiebreaker to me.
I think the feeling I was getting with Calera, like leaving out Calera, I'm also now getting with Ali Wright. So it will feel worse to me if we don't put him in there. So I'm voting for Ali.
Okay.
We would be remiss
I don't
not
like
to name a coach.
Oh, how do you spell?
You've been killing it with like Avayevu and all these, and then you get to write.
It's killing me. I don't. Did that spell it wrong?
I think you had it. You had it correct.
You had it correct.
Okay. I had it correct.
Yeah, HD.
Big hit.
Okay, so I was right.
Yeah.
Okay. To be fair, it's because I can sound out Avievu. Right. I can't spell it out. There's silent letters. I don't do with that. Coach of the year. I mean, it's Luke Spencer, right?
You could make the Ian Fuller argument for a team that goes undefeated at home, makes a significant leap year over year, and really grows their style in a meaningful way without making a ton of star acquisitions. That's me playing devil's advocate because Luke Spencer is also my pick. But yeah, I think Ian Fuller has a shout at a minimum.
Fuller was going to be my pick.
Or what about Scott McKenzie, by the way?
Oh, Scott McKenzie's a great shout. We just kind of forgot that Chattanooga existed, which
I'll just give one more cell phone this year that I picked Chattanooga to finish 14th and thought they were going to be absolutely abysmal. Scott McKenzie proved me so wrong, gave that team a sense of style, proved adaptable when the injuries hit. The job he did for that team is remarkable. Like the fact that they were the 2nd seed in USL League One on that budget is crazy.
Was a guest on the show,
which is always the tiebreaker.
Is just to address the fact that Danny Cruz is in the chat. He's not in the chat.
Oh my God,
Cruz
Danny,
is just to address the fact that Danny Cruz, I know you're listening. To address the fact that Danny Cruz is being mentioned in the chat, I should say. The mark against Danny Cruz for Coach of the Year is that he had by far the most resources, right? Like where, yes, he put together a remarkable season and he absolutely by a country mile had the best team.
It's the issue of what does Coach of the Year mean to you? Because in terms of being the most successful with what you're given, I mean, Danny Cruz has an argument to have done that. This team was historic. He took a collection of good players that a lesser coach wouldn't have been able to make mesh together, and he made them great. I tend to be somebody who's really into the, can you instill a new vision? Like, which coach took a group of raw parts and gave them an identity? Because we knew what Louisville was. We didn't know what Chattanooga was going to be. One Knox was starting under a new manager. Ditto for Spencer with Tulsa.
Yeah.
It's impossible to know which one of those is the right way to go. They're kind of equally valid interpretations. I don't know.
That's why Spencer,
4 or 5 good picks, right?
Spencer feels like the vote for me just because it's when you look at that Tulsa roster and how it was constructed, I've talked about it before, but it wasn't obvious that this collection of players would be the best team in the West. Like And they ended up not only like being the best team in the West, but comfortably being the best team in the West and navigating the playoff. Like there's just a lot there. That felt like it took a lot of like good work from Spencer to get to.
From what we have kind of understood as being a bottom 5 team in the league in terms of budget spent on their team. Like that is a bottom 5 budgeted team in the league, and they just hosted the USL final. And I mentioned this a couple weeks ago, and I mentioned it on Soccer Down Here. If you told somebody Tulsa is hosting the USL final, you assumed every other team in the West died. They were the 1 seed. But also, Scott McKenzie had what we thought was the worst team to ever grace League One, finishing within 1 game of winning the Players' Shield.
And we also hadn't seen, in our defense, we hadn't seen Texoma yet. So, like,
this is true.
And they're not coaches I would name as my personal coach of the year, but we should at least also kind of shout out if we're going to go with John's vision of like being able to turn around at least a season, Candela and McKeever as well in League One, turning those 2 teams back into playoff sides from where they started the year or where they took over is at least a noteworthy mention. But no, I wouldn't name them as my coach of the year. I just thought they were worthy of at least having a nomination.
It's the Josh Jones issue in defense where like, you give those guys a whole season and it's a different story, but yeah, deserving of a shout, but not up for the award.
Okay, so are we going Luke Spencer or are we going McKeever? Not McKeever, McKenzie.
I would pick Spencer.
Yeah, I think Luke Spencer because he got them over the line. They won the conference, etc.
I do love the idea of giving it to McKeever this year just because like that would be crazy.
I mean, what I will say is Tormenta down the stretch looked like they could genuinely be a title contender. Like full credit to him for an immense job.
Okay. So I want to go back to front. In goal, Mirnacio. Then with our 3 center backs, because of course we do, Bautista, Skelton, and Suber. Wing backs, we have Ostrom on the left, McFadden on the right, Davila in the midfield, Ovievu, his attacking side of the central mid. Left wing, Ollie right wing, Reed Stevens, and at top, Taylor Calera. Are we happy with this? Like, I know we're an hour 20 into this, so we kind of have to be, but is there like a, I'm second guessing this?
It's like, well, as somebody who likes the realism aspect that we strive for, I do recognize that the central midfield is a little bit suspect, but I'm willing to go with it because I thought Ovievu and Davila were that good.
I would say, I mean, in terms of the help they would get on the wings as well, like covering space.
Well, yeah, you've got Batista and Suber, the athleticism behind them. Okay.
Yeah. No, there's backup here, I think.
I just don't like looking at this without MD Meyer. I just don't like seeing MD Meyer left off this. I know there's nowhere else to really put him over unless we took out Ovievu and put MD Meyer. I think that'd be my only conversation.
At central mid?
I like a central mid attacking mid, yeah.
Davila
by
the thing himself.
About Myers is like striker leaning and Ovievu like a little bit more 8 leaning. So I think we have to go with this setup, but I mean,
tell Paul Modicad that he's 8 leaning. They had him running as the 9 for like 3 months.
End of the year, only at the end of the season. They switched formations with like 2 weeks left, and it somehow worked. But
yeah, 3 months was a stretch. But you knew it.
Yeah, there weren't of the 2 Western Conference teams that tried random people at false 9. Phoenix has been a lot better than El Paso's. So, yeah.
So we're just going to go with this. We're going to roll with this one. That is fine with me. It's a good team. It's a dang
No
good
bad
team.
decisions
So
here.
I'm happy with it.
Luke Spencer
Yeah.
could take this team all the way. So easily.
He would randomly switch it to a 4-4-2 for no good reason and just go back to this, which is great. So
this team beats DC United in the Open Cup.
Can we put Christian Benteke on this team? Are we talking about USL legend Christian Benteke coming up next year?
Benteke to Charleston, book it.
Oh man,
didn't Benteke's brother play for Loudoun at one point?
Oh,
Wasn't
boy.
that a thing?
It's very possible.
Because I know Pogba's brother played for Atlanta United too, and that was a thing.
He did for 5 games. That is a great pull, Kaler.
Unreal pull.
Jonathan
Benteke. He's
currently playing
legend.
in Azerbaijan, which is even better.
Shamaki in the Azerbaijan Premier League. Amazing.
That's also Pogba's other brother. It's a video I think about all the time of Pogba's brother doing the ransom video in a Memphis 901 kit. Like that is up there for me in like all-time USL lore moments.
That's so insane. Oh my god. That just like unlocked a whole part of my brain I forgot existed.